Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. Hope you're doing well. I've got a Geordie classic to review for you now. It can only be Newcastle Brown Ale. Newcastle Brown Ale. This bad boy's coming in at 4.7% ABV. It's in a clear glass bottle. Classic, absolute classic. Newcastle Brown Ale, the iconic 5-point star with the time bridge going across it. It's still a very, very good looking label, Newcastle Brown. It's got some old medals on there from when they won a beer competition. But it's only on closer inspection that it says 1928. Is that the last time they won an award? I don't know. The one and only it's got engraved on the glass. The one and only. Newcastle Brown Ale. It says... Did you know Newcastle Brown Ale is affectionately known as dog by those in the know? I'm gunning to see a man about a dog, and I'm taking a dog for a walk. We're often used by Geordie men as an excuse for visiting their local to sample the beloved tipple. Ale ingredients: water, malted barley, glucose syrup, hops, and hop extract. So hop extract is basically what is taken from the rubbish hops that the rest of the breweries don't want. So this suggests that this is a very cheaply made beer. Newcastle Brown Ale, of course, now owned by Heineken. And like a lot of massive breweries or beer corporations, they like to buy these smaller companies and rinse the crap out of them and knock out a subpar product. I had Newcastle Brown Ale on the sub. I had a sub of it on the Heineken sub machine, and it was awful. It was awful. That's like the closest I've ever had to a cask pint of Newcastle Brown Ale, and it was shocking. I've also had it from a can, and I didn't think it was particularly good either. And I have had it from a bottler before. This is a disclaimer. I've had this before many times, but it's the first time I've reviewed it. This review is dedicated to Blind Man B, or MC Rich, my man up in Newcastle. Hope you're well, buddy. So this one's for you. So yeah, brewed at the brewery Tadcaster, North Yorkshire, for Heineken UK. 4.7% ABV, 550ml bottle. I picked this one up for £1.49, I believe. £1.49. I picked this one up in Lidl. Dirt cheap. So yeah, enough waffling. Let's get the cap off. Let's get stuck into the Geordie beer. Oh yeah. See if I can get it all in. Oh dear. It smells slightly skunked. How? How do you skunk a brown ale? Clear glass bottles, that's how. When are these people going to learn? All right, let's leave that there. Iconic Newcastle Brown Ale label. Ooh. That is a pretty translucent brown ale. It looks darker from your angle than it does on mine because I've got the light shining on it. I mean, it's just a very sort of chestnut dark brown but clear translucent beer with a one finger just off foamy looking head. Loads of carbonation. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up on that, which is a shame, but there's a general run of carbonation flying up the middle of the glass. It doesn't look great, does it? I'll be honest, it kind of, from your angle, it looks like dirty water, doesn't it? It looks like muddy water. Doesn't look good. Let's stick my snout and see what the aroma's telling us. There's straight away, there's a slight metallic, artificial, hoppy aroma to it. It just smells cheap. It's got a cheap and nasty aroma to it. Slight sweet toffee in there as well. Bit of caramel. But yeah, there's a cheap metallic aroma to it. It's a bit nasty. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Cheers. Right, first off, it's not unpleasant. It's not horrible. It's really thin. It's watery. There's very little in the way of carbonation on the palate. There is a definite glucose syrup character to it. It's a sweetness that is not down to any malt or any hop. That is a glucose syrup effect that's giving that sweetness. A touch of caramel. Touch of caramel on the flavour. At the back end, there is, funnily enough, the finish to it is actually quite nice. It's there's a bit of dark fruit that kind of comes in as the beer develops. A bit of dark fruit, a bit of caramel, a bit of toffee. And there's no bitterness to it. There's no harshness to the back of this beer. It has a very soft, slightly sweet finish. Up front, it's not very nice. Up front, it's too sweet. It's too thin. It's like sweet water, sugar water, syrupy water. And then once that sort of glucose syrup sweetness, that initial hit of sweetness dies down, it then develops. The hops that have gone into it and the hop extract from the rubbish hops that were left come into it, and a little bit of malt, excuse me, a bit of barley malt character comes together to leave a slightly sort of buttery, toffee, caramelly finish. The flavour's better than the aroma. That sort of metallic-y, horrible sort of artificial vibe I was getting on the nose, it doesn't really follow through on the flavour, which I'm happy to say. Excuse me. There's that sugar rush, that sweetness, which isn't nice. But then when it dies down, then the finish actually becomes quite pleasant. Caramel, toffee, very, very subtle hoppy bitterness. And they say that the flavour you're left with is quite nice, but everything that precedes it is poor. And the other worrying thing about this beer, it's a 4.7% brown ale. It says on the bottle, drink cold. You see that? Top of the star there, drink cold. It shows they don't have the confidence in their own beer to let you allow it to go warm, because they're worried about what you're going to taste. Oh, pisses me off when breweries do that. See the carbonation following the head about. Yeah. I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame more than anything, because there's a good beer in there. There's a good beer in there somewhere. The Heineken have stripped the arse out of it and made it a generally pretty poor brown ale. Brown ale is such a nice style of beer, and this was such an icon. This was a classic. And I don't know how long it's been bad now. I don't know how long it's been a poor beer. But well, this is a lot better. The bottled version of this, I've enjoying this a lot more than I enjoyed the cask version, or the draft version, should I say, from the sub. My dad really enjoys this beer. I won't knock my old man. He still likes a Newcastle Brown Ale. Like I say, it's not unpleasant. It's just a bit nothingy. It's just a bit meh. You know, there's a good beer in there somewhere, and it's had to say it's been stripped within an inch of its life. If they just put a little bit back in, if Heineken were prepared to spend a little bit more money on this beer, I think this could again be a good brown ale. But I don't think it's in Heineken's interest to spend that kind of money on it, unfortunately. And that's what happens when you get bought out by big companies. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. It's drinkable. I like the finish. Again, I'll go in again. Thin, nothing at the beginning. There's that glucose syrup hit, sweetness. And then when it dies down, it's pleasant. Caramel, toffee, tiny bit of a hoppy bitterness that blends quite well with them. It's like a slightly buttery caramel toffee finish. It's actually quite pleasant. I like the finish to it, but everything that comes before it is just a bit rubbish. It's a damn shame. There's something that could be built on there. There is a beer in there. There's a beer that could be built on. If there was a bit of money to be put in there, and I just don't see it happening. And because of that, it's annoying. It's frustrating. Newcastle Brown Ale. Yeah, it's just a bit lame. It's half a beer at best. Because of that, I've got to be honest. I've got a soft spot for them. You know, I've got family from that part of the country. But it's just not a very good beer anymore. Heineken have destroyed it, and because of that, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. So 3 out of 10 for Newcastle Brown Ale. Leave your comments below. I'm sure most of you would have had a few of these. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Always love reading the comments. Do thank you for them. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Till my next one. You take care.